Whenever you're ready.
Action activate. Here we come. There they go. People rise, 'cause they know we're super soldiers. We got cool clothes. You real smooth when you see our pose. Action! Energize! Mask on! Time to ride! Combine! Grease ties! Side beam!
Hey, what's up? I'm Gazbot, and of course with me is Mr.
The Big Dog Defender!
That's right, Mr. the Big Dog Defender. Welcome aboard to the show. This is Action Activate. We're a few days late. We did throw up the James Davies interview, which I also had him doing the shout out at the beginning of this one from Dino Charge. He was the Black Ranger, very cool guy. If you haven't seen that, it is actually up on Twitch in the replay, and it's also up on YouTube. But we are not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about Season 2 of Beast Morphers Episode 1, as well as other things. Thank you to everyone. We got a lot of chat going on. We got Matt Kendall Claire finally having a normal Action Activate stream. Arizuki, the boys are back. Hey, Q, Ribabu, it's showtime. Whoa, we just popped on my screen. Hey, Steve. So everybody, thank you for being excited for us. We are excited for you. We are here. We are happy. We are activated. And I've changed a few things. Actually, Big Dog, you don't even know this. You might want to look at the Twitch screen when I switch. I've changed the layout slightly. I'm experimenting. I don't know if we're going to keep this, but yeah, just mixing it up a little bit. We're in the grid, yes. What the? It says the
Funny
grid.
that we're in the grid because of Grid Man. Am I
Yeah,
right?
but I didn't write the grid. I think my tech advisor might have thrown that in there.
Hey, whatever works.
No.
I'm a fan of Tron.
Oh!
I'm a fan of Grid Battle Force. I'm
She-
a fan of it all.
She did because I re-enabled chat apparently. So, yeah, but it's showing just pieces of it. So let me. That's confusing. So I'm going to turn that off because it's not actually readable. So Arizuki, my tech advisor, did put the grid. So that's funny. Just didn't intend to. So yeah, some of the feedback I've gotten from various people is that they enjoy seeing our faces more, and most of the time we're like little small squares, and unless I think of giving us a one shot or a two shot. So I tried to make this kind of like a two shot, but I still wanted to have the slideshow available on the bottom down here, and then if we really want to show something, I have it set up so that I could go full screen like this. So we'll give this a shot, see how it goes. I'm probably gonna be a little clunky because my like settings are a little bit different, so it might take a second between switching, you know. Arizuki loves the changes. Well, thank you, Arizuki. That's a one vote for the changes. All right, so last week we were here, but it wasn't a live review show because we didn't have any new episodes. We were still talking about Crimson Vision and Unworthy Productions and all that stuff. Then I did the interview. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do a quick overview, or do you just want to jump right into the blow by blow, play by play?
I think a little bit of both. We are here because Season 2 has finally started for Beast Morphers.
It feels like so long, and it has been so long, especially because of the reveals that they gave with, you know, again, there's going to be a lot of spoilers. Austin St. John coming back, we knew, like, when Season 1 was, like, on its half hiatus, like, after 8 episodes. So it's, yeah, it's crazy. Hey, it's Samurai Ox. Welcome aboard, Aki Dragu.
Hey, Samurai
we got a
Ox.
full house today. Everybody jumping in.
Thank you. I missed you, bud. I've seen your social media posts of you
He's been
getting
crushing
at
it
it
with the
every day,
art.
but I haven't seen you here in a while, so welcome back.
Yes, welcome indeed. He has been crushing it with the art sketchbook stuff. He's been throwing out like 8 drawings a day. He's just destroying everybody in his path. So yeah, no, Aki Drug, you haven't missed much. We basically were just saying hello and welcome back and everything. We're right about to jump into episode 1 of season 2 of Beast Morphers. And yeah, so you said you want to do a little bit of both. So why don't you lead off?
So we're in season 2. We know, confirmed, thanks to a trailer, that we're getting the crossover we all deserve and that we all wanted. All 3 Dino teams coming together to help out Grid Battle Force, and your boy is excited. Let me tell you what.
Okay, good.
First of all, you know what we haven't had in a while? Me this close to the camera.
Oh, you're there now. You're there now. You got the one shot.
So, here's what we know.
Knowledge zone.
We know that Austin St. John, a.k.a. Jason, will be in the episode Not Morphed.
Confirmed.
We know by behind-the-scenes footage that our friend of the show, Mr. Tyler himself, Dino Charge Red Ranger, is going to be there, all
Brennan
vested
Mejia.
up in all of his glory, Mr. Brennan Mejia.
Brennan Mejia. Yeah.
So we know that they're in there. Not sure about Connor. To be honest, he probably won't be there. I haven't heard anything about him not being.
I've heard unconfirmed rumors that none of the Dino Thunder face actors will be there.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
But maybe we can get some voices at least, like they did with Scott and RPM when he crossed over with Samurai.
Yeah,
I mean, it's better
we'll
than nothing.
see. I'm not crazy hopeful about it for that, but I mean, we're gonna see everybody on screen, which is all we really want anyway. Like that's the bulk of it. And
I disagree. Wait, no, I
is
disagree with
also
that.
hype.
I think having all the characters suited up together is going to be awesome.
Yep.
Would I have preferred that every actor like brought back the civilian form and we could see them be in it? Yes, I would.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Will I settle for what we're getting? Yeah. And is it more than I thought we would get? Yeah. But to say that this is what we always dream of and deserve, that's in my case anyway, that's not quite true. I would rather see all the actors come back if possible.
I agree with what you're saying. I'm saying if you said we can't do that, what would you like as your like next request? Can you get all 3 Dino Red Rangers together? We could do that. All right, fine. Sold.
But we don't even know if we're doing that.
We saw them in a
No, we saw the
trailer.
suit. We saw the suit, but we haven't seen the actor.
No, I know. I'm saying suited up is
All
all
well,
accept
I'll
it.
tell you
I don't love it. You're getting on a tangent. Anyways, it's gonna be a good season. Crossover's gonna be great.
Here's the thing.
I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna keep cutting off gas so he can't talk, and I'm gonna continue with this micro filibuster that I have going right now.
Keep it going. I'll just wait calmly and patiently, and then silently bring out my argument.
All right, go for it.
No, it's actually not even a big argument. It's just I wish in Dino Charge they're bringing back 4 of the main Rangers, I think, or 5. Well, we're gonna have and this is spoiler, but we've seen it in the trailer. You could see clearly James Davies, the Black Ranger, who I just interviewed. And if you watch the interview, he's very cagey about whether he came back, just like Brendan Mayo was, because they couldn't talk about it. So we had kind of fun, teasing him about it. So we have Dino Charge Black, Red, Gold. You could see him, and you could kind of see Yoshi's foot, like his flip-flop foot.
Blue and pink are there.
Okay,
at
pink.
Least
I didn't see pink. Well, no, I'm speaking of out of suit, the actors. Right. It looks like the core team of 6 for Dino Charge. And Dino Charge is weird because it had like extra Rangers and stuff. But the core team of 6, it looks like we're getting 4, and it's red, black, gold, and blue. Green not coming back is not a shock because that actor is not super active in the fandom, and that if anybody was not come back, this is surprising. But Pink not coming back is a surprise. I don't know if she wasn't invited or she couldn't make it or whatever. The Dino Thunder thing.
Kind of thing.
What's that?
I think it's a couldn't make it kind of thing.
Maybe, but it's a bit of a bummer. And that's what I was getting at is if they're not going to have the Dino Thunder actors there for whatever reason, fine. And kind of if they could have just Red, great, but kind of having not the whole team, maybe they just show up. We're here too, guys, and they're not part of the main story. They're just in the fight. But with that many Dino Charge Rangers, they're going to be part of the story. So it's going to be weird that they're going to be like, oh, by the way, Shelby's busy and Riley's making puzzles and
Yeah.
Let me check chat real quick. Ekidragu says the 3-episode thing might not be true because it was edited by an anonymous source. I had not heard 3 episodes. I heard people saying they hoped it was at least 2 episodes, but I haven't heard any kind of official.
So great.
2 would be great. 3 would be even better. But this is what I was saying. You're like, we're getting everything we want. We're getting something. I don't know if it's gonna be everything we want. It's better than I thought we would get. That's what I was
correct.
Says,
that's a better version of what I meant to say.
Right.
So hype.
Erzuki says somebody needs to rein you in because you're on a rampage, and you are on a rampage a little bit. Okay, so that being said, having nothing to do with this episode whatsoever.
Not even a little.
Before we started, you made a comment about this episode. Why don't you make that same comment to the group?
So, in classic Action Activate fashion, I got to be honest with you guys. Am I glad Beast Morphers is back? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Did I love this episode? Absolutely not. It was fine.
You say it was fine. I try not to watch other reviews or anything before we do ours, but when I was looking for something like an image or something, I saw somebody say like a middling, entry to the opening or whatever. As like a first episode, maybe it could have set up some more stuff or whatever. I think it was a good episode though. I think it was better than okay. It wasn't quite great, but I think it was good.
I think it was okay/bad if you overanalyze it.
When we get into it more, I will point out the reasons why I liked it.
And I will point out the reasons why I was disappointed in some parts.
Fair.
But let's jump into it.
Let's see.
Cut out the middleman.
Okay, chat. I was gonna go to you, but we
Akidragu said Actually, hang on.
Samurai Ox
Samurai
said
Ox said Crush still handing out those awesome hugs.
no.
Um,
I think there was like that only happened like once or twice. It hasn't happened in a little while
yeah,
actually.
yeah. And then Aki
Unless you
Dragu
count,
said,
unless you count like attacks, like he's crushing people to death.
"Oh, yeah." Um, Aki Dragu said there is a chance that Dino Thunder Blue is going to show up as a voiceover because he does a lot of voice work, so he could
Right.
just have done that from his home. True.
True.
I
I
mean,
would like it if they all did that. I feel like when they can't fly people out to New Zealand or they're busy, it seems weird that they can't get people to just call on the phone or go to a local
yeah,
studio like that.
Skype in or
Yeah,
something.
that always
Yeah.
seems weird. But okay, so the first episode of the new season is called Believe It or Not. And we start off, I like the way it starts because it has Blaze and Devin fighting, sparring in the center, which is
Similar to episode 1 of
yes.
One. I
Right.
liked that.
That is very good callback, but the difference is now they're being friendly. And so Blaze
Yep.
knocks him down, but they're like, "Hey, buddy." Now I will say it did get a little cheesy because he's like, "Oh, you're a good fighter," and he's like, and Devin's like, "And you're a good friend." Oh, you're a good teacher, and he goes, "And you're a good friend."
Yeah, I was
Now,
like,
I
whatever.
understand they're doing that for people that maybe missed a few episodes or want to just to establish, "Hey, he's cool, he's not evil, they're friends again." But it just
Yeah.
came off as like, "Wait, they're best friends now?" He didn't know him at all. Like, fine, they had to establish that, but I like the callback, but I thought that line was a little forced. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I agree. I thought it was cool to have them fight, and I liked Blaze in this episode. Spoiler alert: Blaze was only in the episode right there.
I was gonna say what this is all he did, but okay,
Yeah,
fair. Okay,
that's what bummed me out. Some of my favorite parts as we transition over. So we see all of the Rangers in the beginning of the episode.
yeah,
We see Devin and we see Blaze,
yes.
and then we transition over.
And they use a nice technique because they have the mayor. He's like, oh, the mayor's making an announcement, and they see it in the student center or whatever that is. Then they cut to the lab, and there's Zoe and
Yeah,
Nate, and then they cut outside. So I like that technique to get them there. And then we get to
yeah.
this part, which I think you were alluding to with Ravi.
Yes, so then we get Roxy and Ravi out at the park having a date, being all cute together. Obviously, this is a big transition from last season where he was all in his feelings, pun intended, of not wanting to have a relationship and being very closed off about it. And now, right out of the gates in season 2, he's very open and everything.
Right.
Loved this scene, all 5 seconds of it.
I like that they acknowledge what's going on with Roxy and Blaze. I think we could have used more, but I understand that there's a whole
Yeah,
season ahead of us. I'm unclear. It seems like Roxy and Blaze are not Rangers. They're not even like reserve Rangers. They're just working at Grid Battle Force.
I don't even think that. I think they're just hanging out right
Why
now.
would they? But they were trained to be part of it. So even if they don't have that like elite slot, that you would think they'd still be soldiers or something. No, it's
Plot
not a.
hole.
No, it just needs to be explained in the next episode or two. It's not a plot hole
But
because they have time.
it's a
But
huge plot.
I'm trying to remember. Rangers aren't allowed to date Rangers. That's the rule. That's why Zoe and Nate kind of can't be together, and that's why Ravi and Roxy had this problem originally.
Yeah.
Can they date if she is working there, which we don't know if she is, but if she's working there and not a Ranger, I feel like yes.
I feel like those rules are now no longer as enforced because
Why?
he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna be a ranger and I want to date Roxy. If you don't like that, then we're gonna have problems." And his
That
mom's
might
like,
be
"Okay,
true, but
fine."
that doesn't mean the rule has changed. I guess what I'm wondering is it just Ranger versus Ranger because they're in the field together, or is it anybody at Grid Battle Force can't date anybody, which seems a bit extreme.
That's a great question. I'm sure we have like 20 episodes to figure that out.
Aki Dragu says it was a great episode 23, but doesn't feel like a season premiere. I agree, it didn't really feel like a season premiere. I mean, it did because the narrative followed what was, it picked up where it left off, but it wasn't like a big earth-shaking thing. Dolly Girl, hello to Dolly Girl. And Matt Kendall Clare, there we go. Evox was tagging me. Oh, well, welcome back, Matt Kendall Clare.
Welcome
uh,
everyone.
so now we go back to the base, and they're having target practice and just training and kind of having a good old time.
Yep.
And we have our Ben and Betty goofy moment where she's like, I'm going to punch the punching bag as hard as I can. He's like, don't even worry about it. But of course, knocks him into the wall. Very mediocre Ben and Betty joke. Didn't bother me. I didn't think it was hilarious. It was like, whatever. Good face
Yeah,
acting.
I didn't hate it. Which every time Ben and Betty's like physical humor comes in, I'm like, please don't make me hate it. And
Agreed.
this, I was like, I didn't hate it. I
Yeah.
obviously don't love it.
It's C. It's C or C plus, whatever
Yeah.
you want to. Yeah, it's
One
very average.
one thing we did glaze over though
Oh,
in
sorry.
the last portion that has some more implications is on the TV where the mayor's talking. He's currently in Paris building a Morph X tower. So
Yes.
what they're establishing is that they're trying to have Morph-X towers all over the world so that everybody runs on Morph-X
Right.
energy.
Because it's been such a success in what is it, Coral, wherever they live,
Yeah.
and Evox is gone, so it's not a danger for other people to have it as it has been for their town.
Yeah, so that expansion's taking place.
Fair point. Let me get back to where we were. Oops, skipped ahead a little bit. Oh man, I skipped ahead a lot. Sorry. Actually, one other thing I thought you were gonna say, the main training that these two were doing was target practice with their guns, which is smart because as we know, that's the most powerful weapon and the easiest way to end a fight in this show. So
Yep.
why train anything else, really? So then there's the Ben and Betty. Now this Ben and Betty, there's the comedy, and then we cut and we see Devin, and he's skipping rope or jumping rope with his
With
super
his
speed.
power.
Which is, I think that's kind of smart though, because it's
Yeah.
not cheating. He's jumping as fast as he can, and it's like, oh, get
Yeah.
agile and coordinated even when you're moving super fast. So I appreciate that.
Exactly.
Real quick in chat, let me see. Samurai Ox. Oh, Boofy. Boofy's here. Boofy. Hello to Boofy. I missed a few. Akidragu is just Ranger and Ranger because field problems as far as the relationship. That's kind of what I thought. And then Mechanical Clear said, I would assume it's just Rangers who can't date since, yeah, everybody's kind of agreeing. Coral Harbor is where they live. Thank you, Mechanical Clear. And
Placed
Boofy
by
is
the
making the
beach.
rounds
That's
saying,
what I'm going to start calling it.
what are you going to call it?
Placed by the beach city.
Sure. Or you could call it rocky formation of a sea creature
I know
boat
this is going to be like the
area.
evil dimension of Cyber Evil, where we're never going to know the real name and we're just going to call it different things every time.
Maybe.
Town by the bay, where they reside.
Down by the bay where the watermilk stay. There's some song there. But
where the Morphex goes.
where does it flow? The mayor
To the Morphex
said
towers.
it was all cleaned up, but here comes Scrozzle. What a jerk.
Ow, I have to bring back Evox.
I like the hands especially. So right after I got done saying I didn't mind the Ben and Betty comedy scene, we have a Ben and Betty comedy scene I do mind. Basically, they're like, Devin's jumping rope at super speed with his machine. Let's do that too. Without telling him, without changing the settings, let's just jump in. And they get all tripped up and fall and wreck the machine and wreck his workout. And it was just like, that's again one of those examples. I don't mind when they're klutzy. I don't mind when they get overzealous and like miscalculate.
When you make them be dumb, I mind.
Yeah, that was just them doing something dumb. And we've established they're not dumb necessarily.
Yeah.
And so that I did not like that. Ooh, good emote from Airzuki. That's the Gazbot custom okay emote. Okay, so we move on from that. Here comes Nate, and he's like, guys, even though we're not fighting anybody anymore, I created this awesome new blaster. It's the ultimate something. What was it called?
Ultimate MacGuffin cannon.
The ultimate MacGuffin cannon, and it has a rapid fire setting. So Ravi tries it, and it just goes blasting all over.
Just wrecks it.
Spraying CGI effects everywhere and making the wall covered with bad CGI effects.
So it was deemed a quote-unquote failure, but I do like that they point out, like, well, I really wouldn't want to be on the other end of it.
Yeah.
So it seems to have done its job.
I think it would be a really good weapon for a villain who just wants to like wreck everything, but because they need to worry about collateral damage and civilians, it's not very good.
I think it's one that, like, while it's being tweaked, if they really had to use it, it's like, all right, everybody hold it in place because I'm about to go buck wild.
Yeah, kind of like when they combine, similar to when they combine all their weapons and they have to all hold it together anyway. So it's pretty much the same thing, just without.
Look at that. That's a helping hand. That's a third arm right there.
I think that was more of like, oh no.
Or it was a helping hand, and you're wrong.
No, I'm not, because I didn't make it take a shot. But you see them all kind of like collapse back in the next scene.
Yeah.
They're helping him like not like destroy everything, but they're not like helping him aim. Is my point.
Favorite part of the episode right here. Steel comes up and goes, guys, I've been doing some investigative work.
Yep.
And Evox is not dead. They're like, you're an idiot. There's no chance Evox is alive. And he's like, actually, you're wrong. And if I were in the real world, I would get a Ninja Steel point for being so right.
Oh, he was so right.
And I knew from the get-go, I'm like, Steel's going to be right. Nobody's going to believe him. Everybody's going to look like a dummy. Steel's the best character on this show.
Yeah. Agree, and agree. Yeah. And I also love that the board, the way he did it, is very like Fox Mulder conspiracy theory guy. He wasn't, like he's just like, I've been obsessing about they're like, you've been obsessing about this. He's like, I'm not obsessed. I'm right. Like.
Yeah. And I like too. I actually didn't think of X-Files. I thought of Charlie from It's Always Sunny, the meme of him with the cigarette.
Yeah.
And the crazy eyes. That's all I thought. Like, no, guys, Evox is alive.
You want to talk about the mail? Let's talk about the mail. Matt Kendall Clare says the new red blaster was called the Beast X Ultra Blaster.
Yeah, the MacGuffin cannon.
That's they I wish they would when they go that far. This is when I talk about like how I like Super Mega Force as a name because it's just like so over the top. There's like a tipping point where I'm just like, sure, why not? Beast X
Yeah.
Ultra Blaster. I want one more though. I want like Beast X Hyper Ultra Blaster, Ultra Hyper Blaster Cannon. Just put one more in there, and then I'm on your
Ultra
team.
Blaster Cannon.
Yeah, put Cannon in there. Beast X Ultra Blaster
There we go.
Cannon, and then I start liking it again. It like tips over from being silly to being
This could be
fun.
phase one. They could get 3 of them that combine into a
Yes.
triangle,
And then they
this
could call it
cannon-
the Beast X Ultra Tri Blaster.
no Blaster Tri Cannon,
Tri Cannon? Okay. And it rotates?
or just the Kodak Cannon, which is a pun because their guns are based on cameras. You're welcome. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about
Oh,
talking
sorry,
about
there was some
different
horrible pun
cameras.
coming through. I had to step away for a second.
It's funny because it was delayed. I'm like, what's happening with this mic? And then I saw you get up, and I was like, oh, well done. You get a point for that one.
Yes, thank you. Ninja Steel. All right,
There we
so
go.
they're all like, you're an idiot. We don't believe you. But Zoe's like, well, maybe some of this might be something to do because once again, Zoe, the heart of the team that wants to believe everybody in.
First place Steele, second place Zoe, third place everybody else, last place sometimes Ravi, sometimes Devin, depends on the week.
This episode, Ravi did nothing wrong. Well, no, I will say this. Aside from them not believing Steele, which is just part of the story, nobody was a jerk. Nobody did
Yeah.
anything horrible. And
I agree.
Ravi actually stepped up a lot in this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's showing him this picture, which is, he says, a scrozzle, and it's very reminiscent of that famous Bigfoot picture, which,
Yeah.
again, it's
I
supposed to. Good.
Yeah, I was gonna say when they go in the forest, they're like, "Look, it's just a tree stump." He's like, "Guys,
Yeah.
I'm not dumb. I know it's not a tree stump. All right,
Yeah.
look at the angles."
I love again, the comedy really worked in the way they kept making it like seem like he's wrong and he's crazy and he's an idiot and he's seeing things, but like no, he's right. Like I like that.
100% right.
Yeah, it's I really dig that whole story.
Keep on keeping on.
Yep.
I could talk about how Steele's right for another hour. Just keep it going.
Matt Kendall Clare says good one, Defender, even though it was a bad pun. It was fun, but I had to step away. My earphones got too hot or something. It was just like oh.
Just smoldering.
Akitragu says character growth. Agreed, character growth with us and with the show.
Speaking of
yeah.
jerks, we get Devin and the mayor, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, like I miss spending time with you because I'm
Yes.
your son, and now I'm a ranger, so we don't have to hide anything, and I'd
Right.
really like to eat a meal with you." And he's like, "Yeah, that'd be really cool, except gotta go," and just bounces.
Two things. One, he could have said, "Ride with me, and we'll catch up on the way to the meeting." Like he could have found a way to like engage him, but
Yeah.
we have to remember he's probably evil.
No, we know he's evil.
Well, okay, but I'm saying this isn't his father being a jerk. This is the evil person being a bad father. You know what I mean?
I know, but even Scrozzle sometimes is nice.
Not who's he nice to? He's like
every episode has to have a jerk. It's the mayor this week.
it. Well,
Just let it
true, but I
ride.
think it's gonna be the mayor every week because he's evil, and he's
If
undercover
somebody-
evil.
If somebody out jerks the mayor, they just goofed that episode.
That's true.
That
is
like
true.
something went wrong where it's like, Kevin did this, and he's more mean than the mayor.
Steele, continuing to be awesome, is like, all right, guys, I'll drop it. Hey, you know what we should do for our next training exercise? Let's go for a run in this random park which I've chosen. Boom, it's the place we're investigating. Shut up and help.
No. Remember, he when they get there, they're like, isn't this the like Morphex tower that had some steal or crime scene? He's like, aha, you are correct.
Yeah, I'm saying, but at first he's like, let's go for a run. Then when they get there, they say, isn't this
I know. That was the relevance. That was what I was going for.
I just said that, though.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Anyway, so they're kind of like annoyed that this is the place and he wants to do investigations, but he's not letting it go. And he's like, no, look at these pictures. And this is the part where you're talking about where they find a stump and he's like, I know it's not a stump, I'm not an idiot. And he's like, I'm going to go investigate, you guys, whatever. And they're like, oh, I think we hurt his feelings.
They try to make him dumb where they're like, he's like, look, robot footprints.
Oh, and it's
they're
his
like,
own footprints. Yeah, which
yours.
just to make it a little bit more believable. Let's see. Akidragu says Morphex Tower spilled to the ground. Yes, that is exactly what we were talking about. And then Matt Claire says Steel is always awesome. Also agreed. So, but again, Ravi, they're like, oh, I think we hurt his feelings. So Ravi's like, we better go after him, and he's the first one leading the charge. So once again, Ravi just getting better as the season goes on into season
Yeah.
2, continuing.
If
Uh,
he continues to be good, I'm not going to talk smack on Ravi.
Here's the
I
thing,
would love to be wrong about
Ravi
him.
right now is at the very least an average ranger in terms of being good and whatever.
At
Depending.
this point in time, you're
Yes,
correct.
but I think because you didn't like him in the beginning, you still judge him more harshly than other rangers.
No, if anything, it's the opposite effect where my expectations for him are so low that like see no. So here really quick. So my expectations for him and Devin started very different at the beginning of last season.
Right.
I thought Devin was going to be awesome,
Yeah, me too.
and I like the more it went on, the more I disliked Ravi. So Ravi coming up to this base level is like, oh wow, you pleasantly surprised me. Devin dropped so much where I'm like, dude, I don't even know if I like
Yeah,
you
but Devin
anymore.
bounced back up at least.
No, not above where I was. So
He had that
fun
awesome
fact.
super speed fight.
Yes, that was cool, but I'm saying that as a character, not the
No, I
cool
know.
stuff
No,
they've
but
done.
I know, but like, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I rewatched most of our first episode review a couple days ago
Really? I have not.
because fun fact,
Yeah.
not only is today our 50th Action Activate, but it is exactly 1 year and 1 day past the first trailer breakdown we did.
Because that's when we started. So, okay, that makes sense
It
too. That
was
a
on
year.
the 26th, I believe, of February last year.
That makes
I
sense too,
looked
because
at the
it'd be about
video.
a year since season 1 came out, so now it's season 2. Yeah, and we wouldn't even know it was the 50th episode, except we got a little help from our friend.
Matt Kennelclair.
Indeed, thank you for that, Mac and
He
Claire.
gets a Ninja Steel point.
I'll give him 50 Ninja Steel points.
I'll give him 49, and you give him the last one, just so
Okay.
you're included.
Happy anniversary from Ox. Thank you very much, Ox. Yeah, 1 year and 50 episodes, and that's not including the interviews and other like random ones. That's crazy.
That's just straight up Action Activate
Yeah,
episodes.
it goes fast. It goes fast. But what's not going fast is this review, which you said we'd blow through, and
I
I knew that
know.
was.
I really just.
You always think that.
I want to talk about news so bad, guys. I really do.
Okay, well let's move on then. So
Let's go.
they're looking for steel, and they come into the clearing. What do they see? Oh my gosh, there are Tronics. They are stealing more effects, just like Steel said, and Scrozzle is with them. How is
Yep.
Scrozzle alive? How is any of this happening? We don't know. It isn't explained. That is one of my gripes. I understand. Well, I expect and assume that will be explained in future episodes.
I think it will.
But I would have liked if there was a hint of it. A hint of like, oh, you didn't expect to see me again so soon, but like just something. But there's not even an acknowledgement from the enemy side that like anything has happened. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it didn't ruin the episode for me, but it was like because we knew he was gonna be back from the trailers, so I was hoping we'd get more, just a little bit more than that. But so they're like, okay. Then we cut to the opening credits. This is a freeze frame from the opening credits. Why did I grab this of all of them? Because it is Nate kicking
Oh
a
yeah.
Vivix. Yeah, I'm gonna put it full screen. It's just for a second. And I assume that's from the crossover episode, but that's crazy. That's like, if you didn't know what was going on, if you hadn't been following, that's a bit of a spoiler right there. And it's, they always show stuff like, the new suits and the Megazords and stuff. Like, I'll cut ahead.
I
Like,
didn't even realize it was a Vivix
yeah,
until like I glazed over the intro. I do like the
yeah.
intro this season better than last season.
I didn't really compare it that much, to be honest. But like, they show the new suits and the new Megazords and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
bums me out because we haven't seen them yet. But that's what they always do. But the Vivix, I wonder if that was supposed to be like a special sneaky trick or a treat, or if it was just like whoever cut it together didn't realize, oh, that enemy is like kind of a
Probably
special
that.
secret. But I love that it was in there, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, look at that. And
Yeah,
then that's the end of the
that's
credits.
awesome.
And as usual, the credits on this show come about a third of the way in, which is so weird. And I can't decide if it's a good idea or not. Like, it doesn't bother me because I'm
I
just watching
think
it,
it's
but
good.
I always go back to the person who just randomly catches the show and they're like, oh, I guess we're in the middle of it, and then like, I don't know, it's just weird. It does. I don't hate
Well,
it.
like
It's just
to me, the thing I could think of is if you know the credits are coming right at the beginning of the show, then you can, in theory, think, okay, the first 2 minutes don't really matter. After the credits is where the story picks.
and go get a cup of soda or something.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
oh, I gotta go use the bathroom. Oh, it's like 5:33. I think I'm still okay.
Right.
Like that kind of thing. Whereas it's like, no, it starts and it stops, and that's about
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Ninja
We've
Steel.
we've missed some chat. And Matt Kendall is giving us a happy 50th. Akidrago, happy 50th. I already said that. Thank you to both. Thank you to everyone. Matt Kendall, Vivix, yeah. Akidrago says Campbell Cooley said that he teleported before he blew up because he always has one on him, which is kind of obvious. Sure, and that makes sense, and that's probably what happened. But again, well then, how did Evox come back? How did he like? We know there's gonna be these explanations. I just wish we got a little hint of it this episode. Maybe I'm just being impatient. I just, And then Matt Kendall Clare says that was so sneaky there with the Vivix. Dolly Girl, 50 now. Wow, that's a lot of yeah. Like I said, goes fast. It's I guess in a year we do one about once a week. There you go, 52 weeks in a year. So we actually
when we miss, we make up for it.
yeah, and we have more than 50 episodes like in the playlist, but some of them are like the Operation Overdrive watch party or things like that, which aren't like official episodes. Yeah.
Like
And then more congratulations from Dolly Girl. Thank you.
Ronnie Gunter, good to see you.
Oh, hey, Ronnie Gunter, welcome aboard. Aki Dragu says he thinks the Vix was a sneaky treat, and Matt Knocklair agrees. I could go either way. I'm fine either way too.
I think it was a sneaky treat, and it was completely unintentional.
Wait, okay. So they call back and they're like, "Hey, Commander, this is going on. Oh my gosh, there's also a new Drilltron because apparently
Drilltron 2.0 who looks red.
Right, but this is the third Drilltron, isn't it?
It's a drill.
They
drill
like reusing suits and motifs this season a lot. I noticed like the upgrades and the reuse. It doesn't bother me. I just notice it. So anyway, they're like, okay, well now we got to get involved. We don't have steel, but we're jumping in. And it was an average fight. It was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. I did like the part here where I'm gonna make it big so people can see, where Ravi was fighting on the ground, and in the background above, you could still see Zoe fighting two others. And I'm always a big fan of that multi-tiered. It just makes it feel more realistic. That they're not all standing in a squad the entire time. And I thought that was
100% Sentai footage.
Well, it's still good regardless who did it. And I
know. That. I'm agreeing. I'm saying, unfortunately, more often than not, we only get that from Sentai footage.
Budget, I understand.
Yeah, I get it.
Let's see. Ronnie saying hi to everyone. Matt Kendall second Drilltron. Aki Drago is the second Drilltron.
I'm right.
I didn't say, but no, it is a second one. It's like the 2.0. But I thought like the original Drilltron got like half destroyed and then they rebuilt him or something like that. There was nothing like that at all.
No, I think you're thinking of Tubatron.
I'm absolutely thinking of Tubatron. As I said it, I realized. Yep. Okay.
Ninja Steel.
There is Ninja Steel.
That was my Pelike not very good impression.
This fight I don't love. He does this sort of ground pound, and like actually when I take still shots, it doesn't look so bad. But that CGI, it was like a CGI explosion and smoke. Terrible. They've been doing explosions since the beginning of Sentai and Power Rangers. Why couldn't they do just a regular explosion? I don't know, but it didn't look good. The smoke looked bad. The fire looked bad. Not good. But right after that, Steel comes. Wait, sorry, say something again?
Oh, I agreed with you.
Okay. Steel comes flying in. Literally, like he jumps. He's like, ah! And mid-flight.
Randy Orton's out of nowhere, RKO.
Yes, and mid-flight, he transforms into his Ranger form and
that
lands.
That was cool.
And he lands with like a Barry Allen flash skid. That whole thing was awesome. And then he's like, guys, why didn't you just use your gun? He fires once, and Drilltron goes flying into the sky defeated.
Yeah. That was the other thing I remember. I loved it and hated it at the same time.
I love
that our boy Steel is the savior. I hate how he literally one-shotted everybody in 3 seconds.
Well, that was the other thing.
Fighting for like a minute.
They were all being held by 2 Tronics each, and Tronics, we've established, can be defeated by civilian forms sometimes. But okay, maybe they were so like disheveled and like worked over from the blast that but doesn't matter because he comes in. Guns always wins. That's right, the real Babu. He blasts him one shot, and then he's like, boo, 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 and takes out every Tronic. I loved it. I loved that it was steel. I loved that it was a gun. It made sense in this universe.
Everything about it, I agree with. Loving Steel.
Yes.
I hated how he just made them all look terrible.
I mean, it's hard being that good, You don't want to make your friends look bad, but you have to let yourself shine and be the diamond that you are.
If only you listened to me, you wouldn't have been distracted by your follies.
Indeed. So then they get a call that a Gigatron is coming, and it's landing right on top of them, which I thought was cool. We've never seen that, and it's just anytime they do something out of formula, I like that. Which is going to play into why I like this episode. So, but for some reason now, Drilltron is back Even though he was like blasting off Team Rocket, seemingly defeated,
Yeah.
he's right back, seemingly fine. That makes no sense. Okay, people just saying hi to each other.
Yep.
And so now I like this too. It's weird that he came back full power, but Steel and Zoe take him on. That's a team we don't see all the time. I like that.
Yep.
So, okay, cool. Meanwhile, oh, sorry, that's just them. And they do this cool slam where they knock him down. Meanwhile, Ravi, Devin, and Nate get their Zords and go down the hole to follow the Gigatron.
Oh, yeah.
And that was cool too because you don't see that combination very often.
Yep.
And they do what I always love when they don't just run right to Megazord. He goes down, he uses the crane to lower him down. It's all interesting teamwork, all different use of.
Yep.
Like I like all this. It's all different, all breaking formulas. It's great,
Yeah.
and this is a big part of why I like this episode.
Yeah, I liked this better than the episode 5 of Operation Overdrive because the team actually did stuff. So that's cool.
And that's saying something because
Operation Overdrive is my favorite season.
Anyway, so
oh, you know, don't spice it in now.
What? No. I just want to make sure people remember. Like, so when you say it's better than episode of Operation Overdrive, that's high praise.
Well, the good news is no one gave up their powers twice in this episode, so that's good.
Yeah. No.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So they're fighting unconventionally,
Yes.
but in the best way. Ravi, actually, I'll give him full props. When he fought the two Supertronics, he was holding his own pretty good.
Yes.
Because Devin needed the extra support from the crane.
And I
all
really
this.
like the design of these Tronics. I've said it before, but the Gigatronics,
But we don't have any. We don't have any toys of.
Not at all. No. Not even a shampoo bottle one or something. But
No,
yeah,
nothing.
and so again, yes, Ravi stepped up. He held his own. He's protecting him. And again, now we have the fight with the regular Drilltron. Then we have the fight with the Gigatronics. And then oops, I have to switch to the opening. Sorry about that. And then down below we have the fight in this cool Morphex tunnel between those guys. And during that fight, the Gigadrone, which is like the drill themed one, I forget what it was called, busts out with 2 more Gigatronics, and it's like this is the stuff the bad guys should always be doing. Like, why are you holding back? Like, just throw everything. Like, keep them all tied up. And it's got this multi-tiered attack thing. I liked it. I thought it was really cool. I liked everything about it. It was just really fun. Like I said,
I thought it was cool.
That was a big part of why I like this episode. But eventually, Ravi's having trouble holding them back. Luckily, they remember Zoe and Steel remember to use guns, so they fire their normal guns and they get them on the ropes, and then they do a finishing move. But the guns is what won the fight. So
the finishing move was really cool. Give them props.
Yes, the team up with the blast and the super speed blade. That was cool, but it was the guns. They literally just shot him once, and then he's like, "Oh!" It's kind of like at the end of like a Street Fighter match where a Mortal Kombat match where they're like, "Do finish him."
Fatality.
Yeah, exactly. So now they have time. They blow in with air support. So Zoe shows up, saves Ravi, and then we have this cool shot of the two of them. Again, they defeated them, and like these two Zords celebrating, you never see. A lot of stuff you don't see very often in general, and haven't seen in this season at all, even. So it's a good episode. That's what I'm saying.
It has good moments. I'm not going to say it doesn't have good moments. As a whole, I was like,
Ronnie Gunter says, right, throw everything you got, take down the heroes right away. Yeah, and it didn't work, but I prefer when it seems like they're really trying and not holding anything back.
And then my least favorite part of every Zord fight.
Yeah, well,
hey, gotta bring the gun for the sword.
Even though he's using a sword, it won't work if he doesn't use a gun. So there you go. Stupid. And then they bring but the crane now has brought up the Gigadrone, and Steel swoops in his I don't know what his Zord is called, but the flying silver one.
I don't know.
But it's like it's a praying mantis, I think, jet.
Yeah, the giant jet of saving.
Okay,
the
giant
Ex Machina jet.
He flies in, but again, Steel he kind of knocks him over, which was awesome and on theme with what he's been doing, just swooping in. But what I don't like is he knocked him from a remote location on top of a huge hole to a city. And he even says, "We're going to knock you back underground." Really? Why not do that next to the hole? There was a hole there. Anyway.
Whoop!
Yeah.
Fits with the plot hole.
That was the plot hole, yeah. Aki Jarvis says Beetle Zord, I think. Matt Kenneclair, Steel Zord is called the Jet Zord. Okay, there you go. I knew it was something that didn't match.
The Zord fight continues.
Yep.
They used teamwork to win the day.
With
the
the
cool
bazookas.
part that the Red Ranger Zord had was he used the crane, like got some
Yes.
extra slack and like whipped everybody. That was pretty
Yeah, I didn't get a shot of that, but I agree. Again, stuff you don't see all the time. So the Zords are all the different battles have been won. A lot of cool stuff. Excuse me. So now they're back at base. I should point out, at some point in there, I missed this. When they realized that Steel was right, Zoe's like, "Hey, Steel, I think we owe you," and was about to apologize, and then the commander called him away, and she never got a chance to apologize. So it was implied that they were going to, but it was this weird like, "Hey, but Steel didn't hold any kind of grudge, and it was fine, like just whatever."
Steel knows he's
Yeah.
always right.
Yes.
The best.
And so then here at the end, they finally now they're finally like, okay, by the way, we should have believed you. Can you forgive us? And he's like, of course, but you have to promise to come with me to look for the Loch Ness monster, which is here somehow. They're like, isn't that from Scotland? And he's like, yeah. And so I like that even though he was right, he's still a goofball, and I like that, and I hope they continue this. That he's this weird conspiracy theory nut now.
I just thought of something that's probably not going to be in the episode, but would be so funny to be called. So
The plesiosaur.
Yes, if the plesiosaur was there,
Yes.
it's like it's Loch Ness monster.
I want that too. I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, I want that
God.
too. That would be amazing. That would be because it seems so ridiculous, but he's right once again. That Kendall Claire says, I'm sorry, the Real Babu says maybe it was a Snickers hole. Oh, that's from that commercial, maybe?
Probably.
I'm not getting the reference.
You're
I
not
apologize.
yourself. Have a Snickers.
Yeah, I know that commercial. That's about being a diva. Whatever. And that Kendall Claire says that crane move was definitely pretty cool. Yeah. And so another piece.
Bad
of,
physical comedy again. Here we go.
Them coming in the wetsuits, making goofy faces, having fogged up masks. I'm fine with that, and that's actually pretty realistic. I've worn wetsuits, and that pretty realistic. But then they take off the masks and they get like cross-eyed and can't see for like the next minute and crash.
Dumb.
They could have had the same exact joke. Leave the masks on. Let them be fogged up. It's hard to walk and see in these things, right, guys? Boom.
Boom.
Oh. Same joke, but it works. But the taking off the mask and giving them double vision, it's just like yeah, I don't know why they do that. They had the joke. Now, that's the end of the episode. What do you give it on a like a school, F to A?
C plus.
I'm between a B plus and an A minus. I liked it a lot more than you.
Not an A minus.
Because here's why. There's nothing really bad happened. There's some really cool Zord stuff. I wish there was more about the bad guys and where they came from and a little bit more on Roxy and Blaze, but I understand it's hard to put everything in one episode. But putting the onus of this is a premiere episode, I would rate it lower. But I'm just trying to judge it as an episode. And it's one of the better episodes we've seen.
I think it's pretty good. I think what took away from it so much was how the Ranger fights felt dragged out for no reason the way they were resolved.
I like the fights. That was my favorite part of this
I
episode.
like the fights when they have a purpose. These fights had no purpose because they were all resolved in literally like 10 seconds.
That's not true. What are you talking about?
When Steel came in, he destroyed everybody.
But that didn't resolve the fight. That was like the beginning of the bigger fight because then him and Zoe had.
I'm saying no. It's always one big fight, but I'm saying the aspect of like them being able to solve the problem, quote unquote, so quickly but that's
I forgive that because it's a hero moment, a hero doing hero stuff. It's Steel being funny and heroic, and like why not? Like it's good.
It bothers me when they do that. Like the other thing too is this season specifically, they do a really good job of having the stakes feel like when they're fighting Roxy in an abandoned warehouse and there's a Gigatron and they can't like defeat it very easily and they got to strategize and do all this stuff and like eventually they win. I like the build up. This was, we're kind of having a hard time. Steel comes in as a MacGuffin and they win. Like,
no, I mean, you're wrong. But you want to keep talking about it instead of the news because we're almost at an hour. So I
all right, let's go. So
wait,
I give it a C plus. You give it a solid B because it was a.
I'm gonna give it a B plus. I'm gonna give it
down for your B plus rate.
B plus.
I know. See, I could read you like a book. You know what else I could read? The new original graphic novel.
No.
You know what?
Because there was a little teaser trailer at the end. And we need to talk about this. It shows Evox. And
I know.
People have been showing this online. I don't have a good shot of it, unfortunately. I didn't have time to grab one. But if you freeze frame it, and not the freeze frame I have, in this little area by his shoulder pad, and you can find this online, people have pointed out that you can see the corner of Blaze's head, of Colby Strong, I think is the actor's name, like his ear and his hair.
Yeah.
And either people are speculating. People are saying, "Oh, is that a mistake? Was he not supposed to be in that scene? Is Evox in Grid Battle Force attacking, or is Blaze evil? And has Blaze always been evil? And was Blaze the one that let Evox in to begin with? And even though he's cured, and he's still evil, and I find that
Maybe.
fascinating. All based on the
I th-
fact that somebody saw a piece of an ear in a trailer.
no, I think Blaze is gonna be. There's gonna be 2 Blazes and 2 Roxys. That's my.
That might be true, but I would love it if it was like a double flip back where the Blaze the human did a double cross and he got messed up because of it and became the Avatar, which he didn't want. No, I understand that you don't think you don't think that'd be cool
Um.
to actually have, because as much as I love the villain redemption story, the hero turning evil and staying evil, you never see that.
Here's what I would prefer, and it's very reminiscent of the Turbo movie. I
Mhm.
would prefer that there is Cyber Blaze and Cyber Roxy, and Human Blaze and Human Roxy have to fight them morphed and/or get powers like right at the end of the.
I mean, I'll be fine with that. We've talked about that before. I'm trying to see if I can find the picture, but I that will be cool, and I'll be happy with that. But I would love to see like an evil character stay evil for once. Like that would just be again something new and different.
We'll
Um,
see.
trying to
I
find.
want them to bring back that girl that tried to sabotage
Yes.
or tried to blackmail. Who did she blackmail? Nate and Zoe, or
It was over the relationship. I forget which one was being blackmailed.
I think
Well,
just
anyway, you
Zoe.
could
I
look
don't
it up.
remember.
Look up online. You could find the picture I'm talking about, and
Yeah.
whatever the theories are, it actually is definitely the actor standing there.
Yeah.
And then they show some of the new gear and this image too, which looks a lot like a purple Roxy, which backs up your theory of maybe there's an evil version of her still
Can I?
exists. Can
There's
you?
2 trailers out.
Okay. And
There's this trailer and a different trailer.
and the other one shows more. So it's
Yes.
not so much that you have a theory as you know for sure.
I know some things for sure, and I have theories about other things.
Okay, well we'll leave it at that because I know you want to not talk. I know you want to talk about news eventually, and we've got not much time left. So let me turn this off.
Can't believe you cut me off on my perfect segue.
Well, I wanted to talk about that.
But you didn't even watch both trailers, so now I feel bummed out.
I didn't know there was another trailer. That's my fault.
I know you didn't. Ah,
All right.
that's why when you said your theory, I'm like, you're so sorry. You're so wrong.
So you want to
You're
talk
just
about?
100%
All right. You
wrong.
want to start with comic news?
Sure.
All right.
Because it's brief. So, it seems like Boom Comics is doing this annually or biannually, where similar to last October, where they had an In Space original graphic novel, this October they have a Time Force graphic novel that centers around Wes and Jen. Thank you.
Yep.
There we go.
There's the full
And
image.
their relationship and how it will potentially break time itself, which I think is.
I really like the cover image. I think they got good likenesses, and I like how fierce Jen looks in this.
Yeah. Apparently, the artist for this is the same one who did Soul of the Dragon.
Yep. And also, I'm pulling these images from Den of Geek, so just to be fair, give them credit.
Shout out.
Yeah. I'm excited about it. Honestly,
Oh yeah,
I'm
I'm always
interested
excited
because
about
Time
stories.
Force and all that stuff. I liked Soul of the Dragon, but the cover art, like even if I wasn't particularly interested in the story, like I dig the cover art. So that's
Yeah, it
got me
looks
right
really
there.
cool.
All right. So that's all you had to say about that one, though.
Yes.
Okay. Then
What I will say is, I know we talk about it. It seems like every other show. For those of you who pick up single issues of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic, they are doing variant covers for this current run for Necessary Evil, where it's the helmet covers, but in all four. So if you missed them the first time around, or they were crazy expensive con exclusives that you didn't get a chance to get, for example, there's an armored Pink Ranger that was a con exclusive that was like 40 or 50. You can get a foil version for one of the new comics
Right.
for $4.
yeah, I've been
And
picking
I
up
have
some of
all of
those.
them, and they're great, and I recommend.
But also, if you get the trade paperbacks, usually they'll have all the variant covers in them, and they don't cost any extra.
Sometimes.
Often.
Yeah,
Always.
he's
No.
right. But I like
Yeah.
them all. I like them all.
All right. So
That
news. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, go for it.
The news I was gonna bring up is we had Toy Fair,
Yes.
and oops, that is
Yes,
not.
we did. Did we ever?
Hold on, I get the wrong thing here real quick. There we go. So there was a lot of news coming out of Toy Fair, but Hasbro specifically, Hasbro Pulse talking about the new Lightning Collection figures. And
Yep.
they were kind of rumored, but they actually had them there to see. So we're officially, you can see on the screen here, we're officially getting Wes as Time Force Red, including a pretty decent helmetless Wes.
Yeah.
I feel like they're very hit and miss with these. The Beast Morphers have been
Rocky
pretty.
looks awful for
Yeah.
Zeo.
Did you see Steve Cardenas posted up and
Yeah,
he's like,
he
this doesn't
literally
look anything
posted.
like
He's
me.
like, "This looks nothing like
Yeah.
me."
We got Billy. Billy is one that I don't think looks very good. It's cool they gave him glasses, but he looks derpy. I think, and I said this before with Kimberly and Zach and all those guys. I think they're looking at like the promo shots from like the very first
Back in the
episode,
day,
and they're
yeah.
like, it's like, oh, that technically looks like that photo, but those
Yeah.
actors were like a year younger in those pictures than they were in the show,
Yeah.
and the style changed. So like they should have picked like maybe the end of season 1 or something. I don't know, but like.
No, I was gonna say I think they should have picked season 2 or season 3, depending on the range.
Yeah, but definitely, like I said, I'll give them credit for doing a decent job matching those photos. They're just terrible photos to choose. But regardless of his bad under head sculpt or his Billy face, he's got the power lances and an energy effect. We're in the
The
series.
cool thing is you get 2 small ones that are individual, and then 1 combined in addition.
That is cool, and I wonder if they will form to make the blaster. What do you call it? The combo
Power
blaster.
blaster.
The power blaster, yeah. Because
Yep.
we got it. If you got the San Diego set, it already came with that. But if you didn't, I assume they must be able to be built through this.
If your Pink Ranger's bow can, then you can. If not, it probably.
Gotcha.
If it has ports, that's how you'll know.
Oh, we've been ignoring chat.
I got it.
Okay.
Akidragu gave it a solid B. Matt Kennel-Claire said interesting theory because that would be cool. Also that it was just Zoe, and although she was trying to get Nate into trouble too, talking about the mole that was in Grid Battle Force. Ronnie Gunter put a little emote that unfortunately I can't read because it's kind of small. Akidragu said, "Time Force, Time Force," in that exact cadence. Matt Kennel-Claire said, "Renegade." Oh, this is actually news that he and I talked about outside of the show. Renegade, who does the Power Rangers board game, announced an ally pack for Heroes of the Grid that includes Ninjor, Zeo Gold, Phantom Ranger, Magnum Defender, and Shadow Ranger from SPD, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Ronnie Gunter saying that's cool. Talking about how the Billy head doesn't look like him.
What did they do to you?
And then Akidragu talking about the Power Blaster, and then you guys should do an episode talking about the Power Rangers comics. It would be great. You know what, Akidragu? I agree with you. You have my vote. If there are other people that want that, I will happily talk about the comics because I try so hard to talk about the comics all the.
It's true. Maybe one of the if we have a hiatus week, when we have a hiatus week.
Yeah.
Okay, but getting back to the toy news, the other one they revealed was Zeo Gold, which we expected because he was in the 2-pack.
Dude.
But the fact that they gave a tray of Triforia face, are you gonna buy one? Even though you have it?
Like honestly, Hasbro's got me bugged. I said there's no reason for me to buy this if they do a Jason head, and they did it. You guys did it. You listened.
Yeah, and I guess they figure even if you didn't get the San Diego set, the Jason figure has a head that you could buy an extra Jason if you really wanted to. But I think it's great that they're doing the tray head. Me personally, I don't think I'm going to get it because I already have it and I keep the helmet on that figure. So I don't need 2, and I'm not going to buy it just for that head. I mean, if I saw it on super deep clearance, maybe, but I think it's great they did it. I think they're going to get more sales. I think it's the right choice. Yep. For me personally, I will be skipping this one.
You had me at option B, which was Deep Six.
Yeah, but I mean, it's got to be like $10 or less for me to get it. But all that's great, and really, who cares? Because Ranger Slayer.
Oh, Slayer, my baby.
Yeah. We hope they'd make one. We hope they'd make it soon. And unlike Lord Draken, who got a figure at least, she never had a figure. That cape looks awesome. The pink and the black just pop. And
multiple effect parts.
Yeah, she's got the same. Looks like the same energy effect that Kimberly had, the regular Kimberly, but she's got the bow made out of the Swords of Darkness, which is awesome. And she's got multiple effects for where she has this sort of triple arrow thing, so it looks like she's shooting multiples that you can see in this first
like
picture.
Legolas.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way I'm gonna display her. Oh, I didn't even notice her cape has holes in it. That's awesome. It's all ragged. Now, it's been revealed that they're gonna be 1 per case, so it's probably gonna be coveted because she's a character that's never had a character. She's a popular character. She's awesome looking, and it's only one per case. You can pre-order them for Hasbro Pulse and Amazon right now. I recommend anybody
You
who
can't
thinks,
on Hasbro Pulse because you're showing that it's sold out.
oh, well, you used to be able to. I and the big dog got ours through Hasbro Pulse. I didn't realize it sold out. Well, last time I checked, you could still get them on Amazon. If you want this figure, I recommend you pre-order it. I'm not a huge pre-order person unless you think it's going to be hard to get. I think she will be hard to get. I don't think she's going to go on sale like a lot of others do. And so the others, I would say wait if you're looking for a sale or whatever, but not her. And then to me, the least interesting thing, the Dragon Dagger. Again, who cares?
Dude,
Why?
I was so. This is the weirdest thing to say because you guys know how I am about hype.
Yeah.
But I looked at it and I went, "You good point, Bandai. Bandai gets a Ninja Steel
Yeah,
point. Theirs
absolutely.
looks so much cooler." And the other thing is, I was like, "Well, how much is it?" I'm like, "It's the same exact price."
The only the advantages that they sell it on is it comes with a stand, which the Japanese one did. But I have a stand from a lightsaber that I use for it, and if you don't have a stand, whatever. And the fact that it lights up. Now I'm a big light and sound guy, so this should make me want it. But the Dragon Dagger doesn't really light up, and like you could argue a little bit of green energy. That doesn't hurt my feelings or anything, but it's not enough to make me buy another $60 prop that at a glance doesn't look as good. I don't know. It doesn't. The one I have is like heavy duty and metal. I don't know, and it's shiny. This looks like to me if you didn't get the Bandai one, American one, Japanese one, or the re-release of the Bandai American one, then I guess you get this. But
like
it's
this and I think the white. Well, no, the White Ranger helmet we didn't really have one. I heard mixed reviews. The size kind of being off, but like if you were gonna retread on what Bandai did, like I would have done the Power Sword because that's expensive and hard to get.
Oh, is it hard to get now? I remember it was going for like pretty cheap for a while. Like it seemed like it didn't sell well.
Nah, it's over 170 right now.
But that could be hard to make because it's so big. I understand why they went with a small one, but
I mean, you make it less sophisticated and you sell it slightly cheaper, and people
or
like
make the power axe or any other weapon or morpher they haven't made yet.
Yeah, this was a bad idea, and it's going to go on clearance. I'm calling it right now.
If it goes on deep enough clearance, maybe I'll get it if it lights up. But now, because I already have one, what am I going to do? That's the thing. If you gave me one for free, I'd play with it and like compare to make sure the other one's better.
And probably get rid of it.
Yeah, because what are you going to do with two of them? So yeah, it's a bummer.
Give one to your kid and you get the cool one.
I guess, but I mean, even if it's on deep, well, if it's free, yeah. But even on deep discount, it'd be like $30, So like, I don't know.
What's gonna happen is it's gonna be $20, and you and I are gonna begrudgingly pause at the very least and go,
Like I said, if I got it, I would get it to compare the two, and I would decide which one I wanted and get rid of the other. And so if it somehow ended up being better than the Bandai one, I'd keep it. But I would not keep two. There's no reason to have two.
Yeah.
Let's check chat real quick before we go back into news. Mighty Morphin 1 makes the power. Wait. Mighty Morphin 1 makes the power blaster. Not. Oh, I see what you're saying. Talking about the yeah. Thank you. I'm sure they'll go on hiatus next Kids' Choice Awards coming up. Oh yeah, and actually Nate and Beast Morphers are both up for Kids' Choice Awards, which is pretty cool. I've heard that the ratings of Beast Morphers have been doing better than the previous seasons, which is good because it had been going down. So I don't know how good it is. It might still be bad, but it's better than it was. So awesome.
Kind of like Rob.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Aki Dragu was talking about the votes that we were just talking about. And then Aki Dragu, I was disappointed that she doesn't have a head sculpt. I wanted short hair Kimberly from comics. Ooh, good point. I would like that too, but I guess there was so much new sculpt they couldn't do it.
Well, here's the thing. Because the only thing we have for reference is Draken, but we know Jason David Frank has specifically been the character Draken in some form. Whereas this, Amy Jo Johnson hasn't had anything to do with it. So they probably made the decision of all of these are based on actors and actresses, and this is the only one that would not be based, and we're not going to go down
But it is based on a comic book character, and they make figures of comic book character faces all the time.
I know, but they haven't for this line.
I mean, arguably Draken's weird because he's a comic book character that Jason David Frank played in a commercial.
They have Jason David Frank photo and video for reference.
I know, but that's like a weird. Like, what if they make other comic book characters? Do you think they're not going to give them head sculpts if the actor didn't play that version?
I think if it's a character that had a physical actor or actress, they will not. I think if they don't, they might. And they might do what Star Wars did, where they made like realistic looking heads based on animated images.
Like with Rebels.
Correct.
Yeah. Samurai Ox says, I prefer my original dagger. It's a bayonet off my on my Nerf gun.
Nice.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we're running short on time. What is the next news you wanted to talk about?
We talked about the comic. We talked about the board game briefly. Oh, to touch on the board game, if you have the board game, it's an expansion. All the characters are cool. It's about $40. As much as I like that game, I haven't played it, and I'm not buying the expansion. I can't justify getting 5 extra character pieces for 40.
I think the game looks awesome. I love the expansion they're doing. I like the art. Actually, they already announced the Zeo one, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so Matt Frank, who I know, worked on the art, so like I want to support it, but
Nice.
I know that I'm not going to play it. I have games I haven't played that I haven't even it's tough. I want to support it, but I can't justify buying something I'm never going to play, and I don't think I'd ever play it, unfortunately.
And those characters, although they're cool, are kind of some of them are random picks to go with the current Rangers that are out.
Yeah.
Like Shadow Ranger doesn't go with any of those.
Right. Okay, moving on from that, I didn't have anything to pull up for that because I didn't realize that had happened, so I apologize. The other news I wanted to talk about, which again came out of Toy Fair, which was sort of people were guessing, but it was confirmed. And this is No Pink Spandex's Instagram that I'm using. Season 28 is going to be Ryu Soldier.
Oh yeah.
They're saying they're going to call it. The fans are saying it's going to be called Dino Night or Dino Nights maybe.
Yeah.
I think that's a good guess. It's not official, but it is official that it's going to be Ryu Soldier. I'm okay with it. I really wanted Q Ranger, and there's a lot of reasons why it might not be happening. I don't care. That's the one I really wanted. But if we're not getting Q Ranger, this is probably my second choice. So there you go. Yeah.
So here's what I hope will happen, and now I'm putting it out in the universe, so we'll see what happens.
Sure.
We have 3 Dino teams in the crossover.
Yeah.
If they plant the seeds for next season
That'd be
in
amazing.
this season, I will be beside myself.
That would be amazing. Yeah. If there was some kind
it
of
would give me the best Turbo to In Space vibes ever.
That would be great. It would be, and let's carry over the cast. We don't have to do it forever, but like one time, let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, we'll see.
You know, like we got.
I will say,
yeah.
I don't know how hard they're petitioning, but for those of you who follow on Instagram, Mike Olask, he has some really good photoshopped art of him as the Red Ranger, and he said he's not opposed to it. I honestly think he would be awesome.
I think he'd be awesome, but I would like him as the mentor better probably.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
On the casting sheets that they put out, it says appear to be 15 to 21
I was just going to say that's the other part of this news. You can say here it's their so if you are I think they said they want somebody between 17 and 21. So if you're interested, you can apply if you're that age and could pull off 15 to 18-year-olds. So they're going to be high school students. He looks young, he looks good. He can't pull off high school student. But he could pull off young teacher or like uncle or
very
whatever.
RJ like.
Yeah, exactly. So they're looking for a group of male and female all ethnicities that age, and they're gonna be high school students, which we'll see. I traditionally I'm not a huge fan of the seasons where they're high school students. Now I understand that comes from Mighty Morphin. I'm not counting Mighty Morphin, but like Megaforce and Ninja Steel, I just don't like because going back to Samurai. A lot of people don't like Samurai, but my big argument is whatever you think of the show as a whole, it makes way more sense to me that they left their lives behind and they live in this dojo and they're heroes fighting this epic war than like after school I got to quick go fight. Like that's very Spider-Man, which makes sense if you're just like living this chaotic life and everything's going wrong and you just have to fight this street level villain. But if you're maintaining your grade point average and in the eco-friendly club and helping out the puppies and at the same time fighting monsters every week that could destroy the entire world, it's just I don't know. It's really hard to pull off.
It would stay on theme because all 3 Dino seasons they're in high school.
You know what? That's true, and I'm still in the middle of Dino Thunder, and I forgot they're in high school.
Yep.
Because they barely are ever in school. They're mostly in the cafe. So I guess that's the trick. If they're high school students, barely ever show them in high school, and don't have them be the super do good in every club because it starts to get a little bit unbelievable at times.
I agree.
Let me see here. Well, we missed a few. Matt Ken Claire, I already pre-ordered the Ally pack. Oh, for the game.
Ally pack
Gotcha.
for the game.
Rio Soldier is going to be interesting. Akidragu's season 2 premiere didn't do well compared to last season. Oh, hopefully the rest of the season will do better. Well, we know it's going to do better once the crossover comes, because people who don't
Yeah,
watch Power Rangers at all or haven't watched it in years know that Jason's coming back, and that's like a big deal out in the
exactly.
world. Matt Kendall, it's kind of like with Ninja Steel. A lot of people watched the anniversary episode that never watched that show anyway. Matt Kendall, same here, Defender. I think I would freak out if they did that. Akidragu, Dino Thunder is the only good high school student season. And I don't know if I 100% agree with that, but I
Wow.
did just realize that it's pretty good because I forgot they were in high school. But that says something. That says that, like, oh yeah, they're in high school. I forgot.
Yeah.
You know. And Akidragu says Dino Charge Rangers aren't in high school. Correct.
I mean, I thought they were high school aged.
I thought they were college aged because
I
they
don't
were all like, yeah, I always thought they were college aged, to be honest. And they all had like
Whatever.
full-time jobs and stuff. Like, yeah, yeah. So you made a mistake there. So a Ninja Steel point to
Revoke my
Akidragu,
Ninja Steel
and
point. Yeah.
you lose one. All right. So, but yeah,
Final two
if
things.
you're interested in that, they have the requirements, and they actually have sides to read, which were apparently the same from Beast Morphers, but it's just to show that you could read, you know, the kind of drama they're going to be doing. You get one more thing
Yeah.
because I was about to end the show. So what's your last thing?
So they have a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord that they announced,
Hmm. Oh, it looks
and I wanted
terrible.
to. Really? You
The
think it
build a
looks terrible?
Megazord?
I think it looks fine.
Well, first of all, again, we've seen the Mighty Morphin Megazord 1,000 times now in every version, from every price point to every age range.
Yeah, this is a cheap version.
We've had cheap versions already.
It's supposed to be like $40 total.
Do you know what it's called? I'll pull up
Do
a
I know
picture.
what's called?
The toy you're talking about? What is it
The
actually
like
called?
build a Megazord? I don't know.
The
I
problem is
saw it. It didn't look terrible considering it's meant for children. Like legitimately, like the
but we had the
lower.
Imagine X one, which was awesome.
Yeah, but that was enormous and didn't combine.
All right, I can't find it quickly. I was sort of it kind of like with the other figures, like the shampoo, like 12-inch ones of Mighty Morphin with like the flip heads, which I guess are for kids. But it's like, do kids really care about these characters? And like, if they do, they'll just buy the regular figures. Like, I don't know. It seems like a weird direction to go. Not that we don't want kids, but kids are going to be more interested in the current seasons, not the old seasons. I see the only like people buying this I see are older people that have kids that are like, oh, I'm going to get this for my kids. And that's not a huge
I
demographic.
don't have kids, but that's what I would do.
Right. Well, but that's what I'm saying. But that's not the best demographic to go after necessarily, you know. But we are coming up on 15 after, and I got to get going. So is there anything else quickly you want to say? Not a big news story or anything.
A third party is releasing 1/6 Hot Toys-esque scale
Yeah.
Power Ranger figures based on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
They look amazing.
They announced it like 2 years ago. Gazbot and I looked at them. They looked all right. And now they have like actual in-hand reviews and photos and stuff. They're some of the greatest Power Ranger figures I've ever
But
seen.
they're
They
like
look so
100
dang
plus
cool.
each, right?
Yeah, they're
they're like
like
Hot Toys.
140 a piece. Yeah, which is pretty cheap for Hot Toys. But if you're gonna get 7 of them, it adds up pretty quick.
Yeah. How many did you get?
I don't have any, but I'm thinking about potentially getting some in the future. We'll see how it shakes out.
Okay. I will not be getting any. They look awesome, but I have, again, so many versions of those particular characters. If they put out like
Yeah.
Jungle Fury, I'd be in trouble. You know, or some other season, like maybe like the
Yeah,
RPM Gold and
That's
Silver.
the thing.
Like,
They're trying to use this as a springboard to potentially do more, which is a great and terrible
I'm
thing
just
for us.
so burnt out on the Mighty Morphin core team and stuff that like, oh, another
But
Mighty Morphin Megazord. Who
they
cares?
always start there. You know they have.
I know, no, I understand that, and I know there are people that are going to buy them. That's fine. I'm just explaining. For me, I have 3 sets of Mighty Morphin, collectible sets of Mighty Morphin figures, not including whatever random figures I have around that are vintage and stuff. I don't need another one. You know,
I
like,
think I have 4, not include. I don't have all the figure arts. I have Legacy. I have Lightning Collection, or halfway through Lightning Collection.
Mhm.
I have the Triangle Box 5-inch figures. Yeah.
yeah, you have more than I do.
Well, that's not saying much.
Let's check chat real quick. If they Akidragu, Shelby was going to college. Ronnie Gunther, I have to get going, but okay. Thanks for stopping by, Ronnie. We're gonna get going in a minute too. Akidragu, I think if they do the Ninja Storm thing with the night school thing, then I'm 100% on board. I didn't even remember the Ninja Storm people being in school, to be honest. They were in
They were in the Ninja Academy.
right, but they weren't like, yeah, I didn't count that as school because
Yeah,
that's
same,
kind of like,
same with Jungle Fury. It was the same kind of thing.
yeah,
They
like,
worked and they
right.
trained under RJ.
Yeah, I like that formula. Samurai Ox says, in case you're wondering, just posted those pics on Twitter with my gun and my dagger. So you could
Nice.
find Ox on Twitter. I know it's like, I forget what it's. Oh, there you go. There's his Twitter handle. Good, because I'm like, it's Ox Samurai something.
Yeah.
Akidrago Samurai Ox, send the link in chat. There you go. There's the link. And actually, I'll throw it up. There, I'm gonna put it up for those that don't.
Also, post it in Action Activate for those not watching and
There
gonna
you
watch
go.
the YouTube.
That's awesome. I didn't picture it correctly, but that's pretty crazy looking.
Oh dang, that is cool.
Yeah. Okay, well, so that's it for us. It's great to be back. It's great that the season's back. Campbell Cooley interview still coming up. Hasn't happened yet, so if you have any questions, throw them out. Not here, but on the Facebook page or the YouTube or somewhere here. I'll throw up all my links.
On the
There.
tubers.
Yeah, and with that said, I, today at least, have been Gazbot.
This week so far, knock on wood, have been the big Dawg Defender.
And
Operation Overdrive is my
To the
favorite season.
power.
oh, sorry,
See.
to the power.
Oh, I don't know what you did.
End
then.
credits.
To the power. Oh no! I saw it again. I hate they slice that. Like, subscribe, comment, join us on. Thank you guys very much.
All right, and we are not clear. I have not ended the stream. Okay. Stream's still going.
Oh, well, that's good.
Blank screen. Just looking at a blank screen. I figured you want to ramble. You were enjoying rambling, so I figured why stop you?
Yeah, just think of Ranger stuff. Fill that void with Ranger feelings and good time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you did want to say one more thing.
Operation Overdrive is my favorite season.
Know it. They're gonna do it.
Good night, everybody.